Hello, listeners. I'm Casey Kasem. Yup, this shit show podcast is still going on, and here we have their holiday episode. A week late and $1 short. I guess after dissecting every single minute of a movie made to sell toys to children, now it's a race to the bottom of the barrel with special episodes. And right out of the gate, we have an Autopod Decepticast cock-up. Unbeknownst to the guys, the microphone shit the bed during recording, and the episode ended up with some audio issues. I've worked my radio magic to fix it for some reason, and while it's not perfect, it's fine. There's a hum that shows up in the first 20 seconds or so, but then it levels out. Just wanted to give you inexplicable listeners a heads up that their inane chatter is not quite as crystal as usual. And now, on with the show. Tell you what APDC stands for. It's audio penis dick cock.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Autopod Decepticast. This is your weekly podcast that used to deliver a minute-by-minute breakdown of the 1986 movie, and I don't know why.
Still does if you're just listening to the old archives.
That's true, and this is episode 91, which means we'll be covering minute 90. Well, that doesn't work either.
It's already off the rails.
That's right. This is the first of our special topics episodes. Mm-hmm. And joining me for this episode are two guys who were at one time on a minor league baseball team, the Hackensack Bulls. Ryan, the pitcher, learned that his recently expired great uncle left him a $300 million fortune, but there were a few little hitches to the deal. For example, he was offered $1 million up front, to just take that money and go away, or spend $30 million in 30 days to inherit the whole banana, but he couldn't tell anyone. Well, Ryan went for the big money, and to spend the $30 million, well, he starts off blowing money in an expensive hotel, hires a highly paid staff, makes some terrible gambling decisions. Eventually, he decides a good waste of money would be to run a protest campaign for the mayor of New York. Well, he says some.
I don't remember that at all.
He says some unsavory things about some of the other candidates who sue him for this confrontational rhetoric. He ends up hiring the Yankees to compete in a game against his own minor league team, and he blew the last $38,000 on a party after the game, believing he'd spend all that money. Well, this crooked lawyer, who was bribed by a law firm to ensure that Ryan failed on his $30 million adventure, he handed some money to Ryan that was previously thought spent. But wasn't. So Ryan was set to lose the bet. Oh, my God.
Wow.
Ryan punched that lawyer in the face. He was so angry. And that lawyer then threatened to sue Ryan. Well, Ryan was quick thinking. He took that opportunity to hire. There was somebody else in the room who just happened to be an attractive, well-intentioned lawyer. And he used his excess money that he had as a retainer, thus clearing out all the money and winning the $300 million inheritance. Oh, and Caleb was Ryan's best friend who was a catcher on the baseball team.
I thought when we were finished with the movie we weren't going to do this thing anymore.
That was, that's Brewster's Millions, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is a convoluted-ass story that I don't even know if I've seen the entire movie. I think I may have only seen bits and pieces of it. Because that is an insane plot.
Now there is no need.
Yeah, it also, fuck the homeless.
Well, I think there were other stipulations
as
to how he could spend the money, and I don't think I don't know that he necessarily could do that.
It is that is a weird detail though, that his uncle's like, don't help anybody. That you can't spend the money that way.
I think it's weird that his uncle would just create this challenge to begin with.
It's certainly not legal. I don't think that would hold up in court.
Give me the money or don't already. Whatever.
You guys.
What is it meant to teach him?
You guys just pretended I didn't say that at all. You just talked right through it.
No, we heard you.
What'd you say? I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Don't say it again. I'm sorry.
I said.
To make you mad.
I didn't. I'm not mad. I found it interesting.
You just said you thought we weren't going to do the intros anymore.
No, I thought we weren't going to do this podcast anymore.
Oh, I thought you meant the intros.
I thought you meant intros too.
Yeah.
I didn't. So yeah,
That's why
that's why it didn't work for me.
If you'd have said the podcast, I think that probably would have halted our conversation. And
right.
I really thought you meant the intros.
Oh, that's funny.
And in
Yeah,
my head,
me
I was
too.
like, well, we never had that conversation. So what you just said is irrelevant. We're going to move on. But I'm still sad that you felt small.
I feel you. I think you probably just think what I said was irrelevant. You're just pushing through it.
I was pushing through it.
Yeah.
Good joke. Good joke. That landed for none of us.
Okay, I think that there is some relevance to bringing up Brewster's Millions that will come back later in our discussion. Well, there's a few things on the agenda today. This is kind of sort of a late Christmas episode.
Yeah, it's our holiday episode that'll come out after the new year.
And in the spirit of Christmas episodes, I think some special guests might stop by. Perhaps the ghosts of Bing Crosby and David Bowie will come by for a little hit of the rumpa rum rum. I wrote that down, but I couldn't read it.
I'm not doing a David Bowie.
I don't believe you are. Don't
Okay.
worry about it. I said perhaps the ghosts of Bing Crosby and David Bowie might come by. But mostly we're going to talk about the year 2005. Because, as I recall, there wasn't a savage extraterrestrial robot battle on our planet at that time. So we're going to talk about what really happened that year and how it may or may not relate to the on-screen action that we've been covering for the last year and a half. Does that sound fun, guys?
Yay!
It sounds like a hoot.
I got some good stuff.
Oh, all right. Well, we will try not to talk through you as you deliver that news and information.
You didn't talk through me. You just didn't acknowledge what I said at all. And I thought, they're just. It's like, if I said like, I really don't want to do this anymore, and you guys just don't even acknowledge it, and you keep talking and having fun. I'm just like,
you're just more and more miserable.
I'm just stuck in.
But you keep showing up.
Yeah,
for some
no,
reason.
obviously. No,
There's
yeah.
one episode where
I
we
can't,
just
'cause
don't respond to anything you say at all, and you're just making non sequiturs in the background.
Somebody,
I
really want to go home. Yeah. Somebody help.
It's as if we kidnap you and force you to participate, or force you to not participate.
Somehow legally, I need your permission to leave the show.
That's right. I've got you all tied up in contracts and red tape.
Carter's Hundreds.
So, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time listening, welcome to the show.
Hey.
If you're
Why
here
now?
for our legendary minute-by-minute coverage of the 1986 Transformers movie, you're in the wrong fucking place because we've been there, done that.
I like how we always insult people that they come
Up
into a
top.
place. Now,
Gotta alienate 'em.
why are you here? What the fuck are you doing?
The point is, you're late to the party.
Yeah.
The keg is tapped out.
Go home.
But if that's the kind of thing that sounds exciting to you, don't worry. Our show, the archives are they're available on any gosh darn player that you might want to listen to them on. Go to iTunes, or as they call it, Apple Podcasts.
I've seen both. I don't know what to say anymore.
Go to Stitcher. Go to what's the
Google
other
Play.
one? Google Play.
Tune in.
Tuned in. Everybody goes.
I've been trying to get us on Spotify. They won't They won't return my phone calls.
Fuckers.
I know.
By phone calls, you mean emails?
Pandora now. We need Pandora now has.
does podcast.
so I
Does
guess
anybody do Pandora though?
They're partnering with. They're getting purchased by XM Radio, Siri XM. So I think that there's probably an avenue. I don't care. Let's just get on there.
Listeners, get us on there.
That's
you
right.
do it.
Of course, the recommendation would be, if you're interested in that, start at the beginning, episode Z, because we're not really talking the news. Our podcast has a respectable shelf life. Like the finest canned meats, you can enjoy Autopod Decepticast long after the bombs have dropped and the last vestiges of human civilization have withered away in concrete bunkers deep into the Earth's crust. In the case of Armageddon, I recommend downloading versus streaming.
I've been transcribing this to notebooks, and I've been distributing them around.
So people can read them.
Yeah.
Excellent. This may be controversial, but I think it's a fun show from the jump. It gets even better. So listen, but that's not what this is all about. This is we're into special topics. And speaking of special, and speaking of topics, Hot Topics, a show that a place that you can go buy goods.
Is that still open?
And speaking of buying goods, we have a store and goods in the store that, we make some good artwork. And, of course, the Cup recruitment poster illustrated by none other than Autopod Decepticast's own Ryan Jett for $15 plus shipping. Although I think we might make some pricing adjustments just so it's one price that includes shipping.
Yeah.
We'll get on that. We'll figure it out.
All the people that have bought our stuff already are like, God God damn it.
Well, I mean, of course, we'll raise the price of the product.
Just
for
build the
so,
shipping in, yeah.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's our pin series. I've started work on another pin series. I know Ryan's got some. I know
I've been
you've
doing
got
some
doodads.
designs. I also saw today on Twitter, Mike Andrews tweeted a thing where he saw, I guess, the cup poster in a conversation about the trading card game.
Oh, we'll have to track that down.
Yeah.
Are people taking our intellectual property?
I don't know what the context was, because it's just a snapshot of the thing, and with his response to it, where it's like, "Do you listen to the Autopod Decepticast?" And so I don't know what how it came about, but
shout out to Mike Andrews and his own piece of work, Coming of Mage.
Yes, his book. Go to Amazon.
Boy, I screwed up the name of that book the last time I mentioned it.
We corrected it, though.
We did.
But still.
It's okay. Nobody's mad at you.
For Christ's sake.
I mean, maybe somebody's mad at you, but
Yeah.
it's not me. So we're going to figure out the T-shirt situation. I'm looking at TeePublic as an on-demand printer vendor. We'll see. The margins aren't as amazing if we were to manage it ourselves, but I don't think we really want to manage it ourselves. And I think we can do one-offs as opposed to doing some big print run, and again, we would have to keep an inventory, and if nobody really wants it, then we just got all these T-shirts.
Hey, yeah, guess what everybody's getting for Christmas?
And the other thing I like about it is I don't want to have to carry a bunch of different sizes, So at any rate, we'll figure that out because I think we've got some great T-shirt designs. And you may have noticed the last few episodes. Sorry, a lot of upfront stuff, but it's been a while since we've gotten together here. Has it been a couple months?
I mean,
Jesus, November and December. Jeez Louise. But Ryan has been doing the work of Raw as he's been re-editing and posting the compiled script deviations so that you, the listener, can have the experience of seeing what this movie would have been like if the very first draft had been rushed into production. And so that's a lot of fun. I haven't listened to those yet, but I'm sure that they are awesome.
You don't have to. You lived it.
That is true. So hopefully you're enjoying those. I think that was a cool idea to stitch those together. So
it was enjoyable, especially to do the one where Caleb had pneumonia.
Oh, really?
That one was fun.
Right on. I don't remember that very well.
Yeah.
I was very ill. I was really sick.
Glad you participated. Yeah. Why don't we talk about the holidays?
Sure.
It's the Christmas season. Did you guys get anything Transformers related for Christmas?
No, but my son did.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I sent you guys pictures of it. No one replied. It's typical of the text that I send you
I don't
guys.
remember that.
I don't either.
All I remember is the whoopee cushion stacking.
Sure, that was good.
So I saw that video.
We pay attention
Harrison
to you.
got a remote-controlled Bumblebee, like a race, like a RC car, and it's awesome.
Are you sure you sent this?
Yes.
Okay.
It's incredibly fast. And the range is really far on it. Like you can race it. It goes up to, what did it say? Like 15 miles an hour or something like that.
Wow.
Which for a store bought racer is pretty good. It's the Beetle, and
it is the Beetle. Is it does it transform if you hit a button?
Wouldn't that be something? No, it just races. It'd be crazy if it was in a pose. That would probably be a really expensive toy.
Get it to transform at 15 miles an hour and it flips in the air and lands on its feet or something.
Presumably it's a tie into the movie.
It's they probably are running it off that or promoting it off that. But yeah,
who got it for him?
My uncle.
Oh.
The range is awesome. I haven't walked far enough away from it yet where it stops working, and I walked around I probably walked down the street about 100 yards.
Wow.
And I was still operating it on a cul-de-sac.
Somebody comes by and just runs over
Well,
it.
that's why I raced it in the cul-de-sac. I live in a cul-de-sac.
There was a person who used to live across the street from me who had a remote control car that was clearly they were very into remote control cars, and they would race it at ungodly hours of the morning. I guess I didn't know that was Bumblebee, because it has monster truck tires.
Oh, well, it does say Bumblebee right there. But, yeah,
right. If you're trying to be a robot in disguise, why would you write your name on the side of yourself?
Probably not the best, but it goes off road.
Sure.
Run it fast. Run it out there. Run it fast.
I like the big tires. I bet it's got good suspension.
That's.
He's just running after it. He's not doing what I'm telling him to do.
He's not
Play with it this way.
He's not a good son.
No. Anyway, that was.
We'll share that video. Probably.
I did not get a Transformers related toy. My son did, and I was really happy to. I couldn't wait to show you guys. I sent it to you and Mike, and no one replied to me. Just like on every
I don't
other
remember
text
that.
message I sent.
It's not.
I literally sent a text message asking you guys something, and 3 days later, people finally started just talking. You guys started talking to each other on the text. And I didn't acknowledge what I said at all.
You just wrote, "This is a test." That's not a question.
Yeah. Well, I guess when someone, I guess I should
provide
have
a
said,
directive.
Okay.
To be fair, I was having phone problems or
It's true.
or network problems, and I ended up deleting all of my texts as a way of clearing the cache of my phone, hoping that would fix the issue. The issue did fix itself, by the way.
Well, that's good. It's crazy that this phone I've had for like, I think 4 years, and I'm surprised it still works. It doesn't give me audible alerts anymore, so I have to just kind of like check it periodically. But
Did you guys get anything Transformers related for
I didn't.
Christmas?
I did not.
Aaron?
I bought myself these awesome Legends size.
They do look pretty good.
Transformers. I bought most of them are the Magic Square brand. I got a Blaster, Huffer, Ultra Magnus, Trailbreaker, and I think this Bumblebee is a different. Sorry about that. This Bumblebee is a different company. I think it's called New Age or something like that.
It looks like it's not.
Fun.
It's definitely not legal because there's no Autobot symbol on it.
Yeah, none of them do.
Oh,
They're all illegal by from an intellectual property standpoint.
great.
So I bought those for myself as well as this guy, X-Transbots Wild Rider, another third-party toy.
That's cool looking.
Looks good. He looks. I love the paint job on it. It's so great.
I guess I technically kind of did get a Transformers related gift because my girlfriend West bought me a ticket to Bumblebee that we went to see 2 days ago.
Nice.
All three of us.
Was that her only gift?
No, no, she got me some other things. Compost pail.
That is a very jet gift.
And all that pussy.
No, I'm saying. Guys, you're forgetting that you did get a Transformers related gift from me.
Okay.
Oh, the glass?
The Autopod Decepticast
Oh, yeah.
rocks glassware.
That was cool. I really liked that.
It was cool. Thank you.
Along with Mike Seibert got a copy of that.
Got a copy of that. Shipped to him.
So, do you guys have any memories? What are your Christmas memories related to Transformers? You got anything that sticks out? Because I do.
Oh, well, I will say that, like I've mentioned on numerous occasions, my memory prior to, and this is why we're going to talk about it later, but it was hard for me to remember what I was doing in 2005.
Me too.
So prior to like 2008, my memories are just hazy. And I do remember, the only gifts I actually remember getting for Christmas is I got Snake Mountain, and I remember getting some hamsters. And I remember getting a tank that like it had exhaust, like you put oil in it and it would smoke.
I kind of remember those kind of gifts.
Mm-hmm.
So lame.
I don't remember any Transformers gifts. I know that I did have a regret about some of my Transformers because I had components, but I never had enough combiners to make the Gestalt. I think I did have all of Devastator, but like not the component pieces to it because I got it at a garage sale.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I remember you getting some Transformers on your birthday.
Yeah, I think you actually got me Quick Shot. I think that's his name. The leader of the Technobots.
Oh, okay. Scatter shots.
Yeah. And he was really cool because you pushed a button and his like the plane nozzle opened up and there was a gun inside.
I do believe if you were a dirty boy, you could adjust that nozzle to be a dick for the character.
I'm sure I did that.
Do you remember? Did you get any Christmas Transformers as a kid?
I don't remember.
There was one in your yard for years.
I don't remember when and under what circumstances I got my Transformers. I just don't remember.
Yeah. We're too old.
I think I must have gotten Triptychon for Christmas because that was a big ticket item.
I wouldn't say I'm too old. It's
too long ago.
But it wasn't that significant of an experience.
But do you remember any Christmas? How strongly? What Christmas gift do you remember most strongly?
My blue BMX bike.
Okay,
that was badass. My first bike.
I'll take it.
I remember that. That's it.
Everything else was trash. I might as well have not had Christmas.
I did use, and we've mentioned this before too. Like I did use Snake Mountain sometimes as a play set for the Transformers.
Which one was Snake Mountain? What?
It was
franchise?
it was He-Man.
Okay.
And you said you had a Voltron fortress, and I think I also had the big GoBot carrier, where it was a big robot, looked like a big robot that carried him
Had
in
a
there.
derpy face.
Yeah, and I used that as a Transformer sometimes.
Like pretend it's Omega Supreme.
Something, yeah. And that was one of the reasons I'm like, well, I remembered I didn't have any of the combiners completed because I couldn't use them as a fighter against them.
The GoBot Command Center, it looks kind of like a Star Wars
It does.
but it has just this stupid face
Guys.
consisting of rectangles.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the GoBots were not great designs.
So I don't remember, like you guys, I don't remember a lot of specific gifts around Christmas time. I know that my very first Transformer came on Christmas, and I do remember that, and so maybe that's why it was significant or impactful enough. It was Blue Streak.
Cool. Whoa.
And I remember being frustrated watching the cartoon because it felt like the character didn't have much presence.
He really is not prominently featured.
and maybe prominently featured is the right phrase, but because I've looked it up, because I remember the frustration of where's Blue Streak. Prowls felt like he was all over the place, but Blue Streak was in 29 episodes. And he was part of Cup's Roadblock crew in Transformers the movie.
Maybe he just never spoke.
Maybe not. I don't know. Casey Kasem did his voice. But I occasionally also remember getting GoBots for Christmas and other off-brand transforming toys that I would, just like you, ultimately use as stand-ins.
Oh, I got tons of those. There's a picture I posted a while back of like a dollar store thing that somebody gave me, probably a disappointing grandparent gave me, that it has a ladder for a dick, which is weird.
That's a famous off-brand toy. And that brings me, I think they talk about it on the Toys That Made Us, the need for Transformers to invent that rub sign technology, and they would literally say in the commercials, like, make sure it's got the rub sign or it's not a real Transformer.
Rub it up and rub it out.
That sounded like Cup. Once again, Cup is a creepy old man. I also would get GoBots, and I never had Bumblebee, but as a stand-in for Bumblebee, I got this guy.
I remember this.
Holy shit!
He was a GoBot. His name is Bugbite, and he's
a yellow beetle.
Awful.
What a ripoff!
Yeah, the head is basically the top of the car.
Yeah. He looks terrifying.
It's bad.
He's got these little, like, derpy T-Rex robot arms.
We'll put a picture of this up. But yeah, that's ridiculous.
I'm surprised they could get away with that. That's such a blatant ripoff.
Yeah. Well, I don't know that it's a ripoff. I think that this probably existed around the same time as Bumblebee, just from a different transforming toy line that didn't get licensed, but it's
still yellow.
Isn't great looking. It is yellow. I wonder if it was. I wonder maybe yellow. Maybe they changed the color of it to.
I mean, there were lots of like toys that were part of other lines that Hasbro just co-opted for Transformers, like the Jetfire and the Shockwave.
Yeah. I think Caleb has established that no Transformers gifts were meaningful to him. Which is fair because he didn't have that big a collection. His whole collection is here at my house.
They are meaningful gifts. I've kept them. I took care of them. I played with them. I just don't remember the circumstances surrounding me obtaining them.
I apologize for mischaracterizing. But the next question I had for you guys is what presents competed for Transformers affection, and I would say that you've had affection. It just wasn't as crazy as ours, and a BMX bike.
I just when you get so many goddamn presents for Christmas, it's hard just to
Richie Rich over
here.
here.
Just blend together. Well, I'm no Mike Seibert, okay?
I've seen the movie a bunch.
Usually I got a lot of. Some He-Man and G.I. Joe. And
Were you more of a G.I. Joe person, you would say?
I had a better collection of G.I. Joe at one point. I liked Transformers. I obviously bought them.
Right.
I bought specific ones, that were popular at the time. I'm glad I have them. But I was probably, if I recall, I was more into G.I. Joe.
Right.
I was captivated by them.
Right.
And I had a pretty badass collection.
I remember you having a lot of the toys.
I had the base. I had the G.I. Joe base. I had the original tank, which was an awesome toy because it was realistic looking,
Mm-hmm.
and it was and the treads would move, and the top section you would move it forward to go forward and back, and it could turn.
Wow.
I had a dune buggy. So in the base, there's a bay for the tank and the dune buggy, and I had gung ho and like.
Did you have Shipwreck?
Didn't have ship.
He's the best.
Yeah, he is. Anyway, I had a great G.I. Joe
I think I had the twins.
I don't have it anymore. Zaymot and Tamos.
Yeah,
or
whatever
like
their names are.
Tomax.
Tomax. Yeah.
It was a palindrome.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. They were like mirror images.
A man a play in a canal, Panama.
I like that
Anyway.
one.
That's a good one. Race car.
So yeah, yeah. I mean, it's competing. It's hard to say they competed for each other because you owned them all.
Right.
So you know.
Right.
It wasn't like Toy Story where they're when I leave the room, they're like, I'm his favorite. No, I'm
I
his favorite.
always imagined my toys as being anthropomorphic that way. I used to explain to them why I wasn't taking one on a trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I did
weird.
that too, though. Yeah, I don't know why. We're such weenies. We were too sensitive.
It gets worse the older I get.
Meanwhile, I would just accidentally leave them in the yard.
Yeah. Caleb,
Like your headphones.
Yeah.
I think he might be a psychopath and has no ability to love.
I'm just forgetful.
But I do think, like in the movie Toy Story, there is this sort of coming of age moment where the kind of gifts you start to receive change. Like for me, I would say everything Nintendo eventually replaced Transformers in my heart and time, like Nintendo games and Super Nintendo games. I remember I got Sin City whenever the Super Nintendo first came out. I got that for Christmas. I played that nonstop for weeks and weeks. But eventually that's all I cared about. I didn't care about Transformers.
I have that game.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
On the Retron?
I mean, I have a Super Nintendo.
Oh, that's right. You do. Have you played Turtles in Time yet?
I haven't yet. I need to get I'm off for the next week as well. I've been off work for a while and not fired, just taking vacation.
Sabbatical.
And so yeah, one of my goals is to get everything squared away so that it all is working, like hooked up and working anytime I want, because it's a hassle.
I can't wait to play that game.
Oh yeah,
that game. Cowabunga.
Aaron got me Turtles in Time for Christmas.
That's right.
One of the other presents.
What did I get you for Christmas? Oh, Beastie
The
Boys.
Beastie Boys book. It's really good. It's a good book.
I will say that He-Man definitely competed for my affection as far as toys, which I didn't realize how short-lived it was until I watched the Toys That Made Us episode about it. It was like 2 years.
It's a flash in the pan.
Yeah, and it was huge, and then it dropped off by like 90% the next year because they just kept putting out garbage toys.
How is it that franchise does still exist? I mean, it does. I feel like it keeps
care about
coming
it.
back and disappearing, coming back, disappearing, coming back.
I didn't remember this until I saw a tweet from TFCon in Chicago, the Visionaries Knights of the Magical Light. I don't know if you guys remember this. Basically, they were toys that had like a hologram in their chest and a staff which had a hologram on it.
I do recall.
And I thought that I've had a few of those guys, and it was they had like basically the stabs and chests. They have different powers, which they used by reciting a verse. Like Ektar had the power of protection. He would say, "Shield this craft from one and all. Reflect, deflect, depose, and fall." And it was like a deflector shield.
Wow.
Or something like that. But I also thought it was interesting because in reading about it, that was created by Flint Dille.
Yeah. Did that have cartoon support?
I think there was a cartoon. Yeah, there was like 13 episodes.
Well, so IDW does or did own the rights to that property.
Yeah.
And that was part of the whole Transformers Hasbro multiverse thing that they were doing. I haven't read yet.
They did a 5-issue crossover with Visionaries and Transformers. And a bunch of the voice actors that did Transformers, like Susan Blue, Peter Cullen, Chris Latta, Neil Ross, they were all on Visionaries.
I'll be damned.
Yeah.
All right.
Peter Cullen was also on Dungeons & Dragons, which is one of my favorite shows.
Who was he?
He was Venger.
Was
the
that
main bad guy?
Oh,
Yeah.
Good.
Sounded like an evil Optimus Prime.
So, I guess all the meat's off this Christmas bone.
You've been talking to Mike Seibert too much.
So that brings us to the main topic of the show, I think, which is the year 2005.
It is the year 2005.
And thank you for saying that, because why are we even talking about it? Because that's the year the movie is set.
That's right.
A movie which we've been talking about, it feels like, since the year 2005.
Oh, hey-o!
And, I think we're going to talk about that year and what some of the stuff that happened, but just to set it up from a personal angle. Caleb,
Yes.
what was life like for you in 2005? What were you doing? How old are we? We're all 40. So in the year 2005, we would be 30. I'm not doing this math correctly.
I'm just gonna watch this. This is hilarious.
No, wait. No, we weren't 30.
Yeah,
we were born in 1978, right?
So, well,
We're basically 27, 28.
yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
2000
Or 26.
And not doing well in school.
Between the ages of 26 and 28.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad we got that established.
Not,
All right.
not a great. My 20s were not good for me. I had problems.
Okay.
I thought for a second, because like I said, I don't remember a lot of stuff, like what happened in what order, and I thought for a little bit that 2005, when you asked us to talk about it, was during the dark period where I
No,
was
it's not.
in a
This
house.
is after the dark period.
Yeah, it was. I think you and I were living together.
We were.
Aaron.
That's correct.
Who
Aaron
I'm
and
talking
Ryan.
to.
In
We're living
Bradford,
together.
You guys were living in an apartment.
Caleb,
Yeah.
where were you?
I was in St. Louis.
You
just
just
got
moved?
married.
What year did you move?
I moved in 2004.
Okay.
So I went to I got married, and then a week later moved to St. Louis to start grad school. Went to grad school up there in St. Louis for a master's in history with an emphasis in museum studies. And so 2005, I finished my first year of grad school and then started my second year. In the summer in between, it was a pretty chill summer. I
You weren't working?
I was my income. I didn't have a job because I had a stipend during the school year, and so the summer I was like trying to figure out how to just get by. So
Dog.
yeah. So the summer I painted the stairwells of the apartment building I lived in so that I didn't pay as an agreement not to pay rent
For the summer? Or for
Wow.
a month?
for the summer.
Oh, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it was. And then I was
This sounds like an immigrant story.
I was hired by the St. Louis Ethical Society to write a biography on a peace activist named Ted Lentz that lived in St. Louis. So I spent the summer writing a biography, painting stairwells, and re-archiving the collection at the Scott Joplin State Historic Site. That's what I did.
I've never heard any of this.
What?
It's not really that exciting.
It's pretty interesting though. In
What a
that it's
progressive!
novel.
What a progressive year 2005 was for you, getting your master's degree,
Bettering yourself. I was just a sack of shit.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
know
mean-
all about Scott Joplin now, one of St. Louis's great contributions to the world.
Yes.
And that staircase, I bet, still looks great. You probably use the best of paints and techniques.
No, I don't think so. I think I slapped that shit together. Let's not go that far.
You lived, as I recall, in the Dogtown section of St.
Yes.
Louis for the listeners from that area,
Yeah, right.
which would be
Right.
well, with that kind of the Irish.
Yeah,
place.
just I lived in an old apartment building, 500 square foot apartment, shotgun apartment. Yeah, it was great. It was
In
cool.
relation to Ryan's comment about an immigrant story, did you take out the local sort of mob figure to ultimately become the head mob figure yourself?
I did.
Yes, and
Yes. And then I traveled.
a Godfather Part 2?
Then I traveled to my homeland and killed the mafia guy that killed my father and family. Yes.
Right.
And but then I moved. But then I finished grad school.
Right.
Yeah, 2005 was a cool year for me. I was just busting my ass in school and then doing odd jobs in between.
Ryan,
yes,
how was 2005 for you?
it was a
What
banner
that all
year
about?
at the Bender household.
God.
Lost his name for a second. So I get like my photo albums. I have these old photo albums that were from actual film cameras, and they only go up to like October of 2004. So I was trying to look back at some of the pictures, but I couldn't find any. So I actually ended up resetting my MySpace password.
Oh, nice.
It isn't, because I guess MySpace just randomly purges a bunch of shit if you don't do anything, because I have like 10 pictures on there, and all the...
You did a lot of blogging.
Oh, yeah.
Back in those
For
times.
like 18 months, I blogged almost every day.
Yeah.
I did find those, not on MySpace, but I did find those because as part of like a project, I think it was a computer class in when I was going to OTC, we had to like set up a blog, and I threw them all up on the blog. So boy, they are rough to read.
You had fans, though. Were building some kind of like fan base of people you didn't even know.
There were people that seemed to enjoy it's as I'm reading. I read some of them, and I'm like, this guy thinks he's really funny. And he's not as clever as he thinks he is. If you want to go check out some of my terrible writing, if you type in jet fumes into Google, you'll find it.
Or
Also my DeviantArt's up there too.
Or listen to the Autopod Decepticast.
That's right. It started me down like an existential route of like every 10 years you probably hate the person you were 10 years ago.
Sure. Well, I think, definitely rediscovering old writing in particular. You pick apart how either pretentious you were or just generally how you weren't any good, but in the moment you thought like, this is good.
Yeah, control
like,
save. That shit is gold.
Occasionally I'll come across like a piece of art or something that I like, but in general I think that just speaks to progression in terms of like skill, ability, as well as just what you're interested in now. And
it's true.
The older you get, the wiser you
I
get,
also
usually.
That's why I'm a Republican now.
Oh no!
Oh,
This is record scratch. I also came across twomanwar.com.
Oh, twomanwar.com.
Does that still exist?
It does. It's still up and running.
What?
Yep. It was a website that Aaron made for graphic design.
Oh.
I was gonna throw some stuff on there too, but I never did, and nothing ever came of it. But.
Well, this is actually this is weird. I think it's a redirect because it's the same as aaronthweet.com, which
bunch of old artwork from you guys.
Well, just him.
So I must have had a redirect of some sort. So we still probably maybe own the two-man. What shall we do with that?
Sell it
to the highest bidder.
Sell that shit.
Some of this stuff got published. This got published.
It's a Kenny Rogers illustration.
This got published right here. This is an illustration of Andre 3000.
Hey, y'all.
This got published. Lots of poster work. I used to love doing them posters. Anyway.
Yeah. Anyway, I just came.
and a lot of that was probably made around 2005. In fact, well, I'll wait, I guess, to get into big detail. But to try and figure out what I was up to, I luckily have all my emails ever. And I just went into my email archive and searched all of the year 2005.
I didn't even think of doing that.
To see what kind of communication I'd been having with people.
It's funny.
It's weird to do that, by the way.
I guess I didn't really email people all that much, but I did have to use my old Hotmail because that's what I went through MySpace. And I looked up and there are 12,000 unread messages in it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any from anybody that matters?
I don't know because I never go to it and don't care.
All just
I haven't used it in probably 7 or 8 years.
It's probably just Viagra salesmen and wild sluts.
Yeah. I did have a blog about getting like some catfishing stuff from like hey, I'm wanting to come to America. If you could just pay this amount. And there was one that was pretty convincing.
Did you do an exchange?
No. I didn't. I did do an email exchange with them just to see how this plays out,
God.
but then they stopped responding.
Right. Yeah, I remember thinking that was a funny thing to do to like bait the Nigerian
Prince,
yeah, and like reply back and act like you were into it, but really keep fucking with them. What a waste of time.
No kidding. He's out here painting apartment walls and writing dissertations, and I'm like, I think it's funnier to talk to somebody who doesn't represent what it is. Anyway.
So when you did all this research, what did you learn about yourself in 2005? Anything?
Not a goddamn thing.
Anything going on that was exciting?
It was a weird like nexus of where I nothing interesting I guess happened to me, like between Caleb's wedding, which was in the summer of 2004, and me getting together with my ex-wife, which was in 2006. I just have no information as to what happened.
Blackout.
I was living with Aaron. That's all I could deduce.
We were roommates.
I wrote about my goldfish dying. I'd had that goldfish from Twin Oaks for like 5 years.
Oh yeah, those things are resilient.
Yeah. So that's the end of my story.
Until they aren't.
It's true.
What happened to you, Aaron?
Let's see. Well, I was working at Noble, a local ad agency, as a lowly assistant account executive, the intro role, basically right above intern. I was also trying to do freelance illustration, doing all these rock posters, roommates with Ryan at the elegant Bradford Park apartment complex.
We had a lot of fun at that pool.
And we did, yeah, actually. I hurt myself at that pool.
Oh, my God, yeah.
It wasn't that summer, and it wasn't when we were roommates. We actually lived there twice. Or I lived there twice. Maybe, I don't remember.
No, just you.
And the first time I lived there, I got really hammered, and I was at the pool. I drank probably most of a bottle of rum, and there was a waterfall, and that was built up with like walls of bricks, and I was smartly trying to walk across the ledge of the waterfall, and when I stepped on a part that was slick, and I fell, and my whole knee like smashed, or just under my knee smashed on some of the bricks. And I remember I landed in the pool, and it was pretty.
It looked like Jaws.
Painful. And of course I'm grabbing the wound, and then I released it for a second, and just this like mist of blood.
Oh God!
Probably turned the pool pink.
They probably never sanitize that. They're just like chlorine's fine.
Yeah. My sister was there. Luckily, she took me to the emergency room. I got like 20 staples.
Yeah,
Luckily, I
remember,
didn't hurt my knee.
It was crazy. It looked like a Frankenstein wound.
It was pretty gross. But anyway, that was that apartment complex. My DNA may still be there. For all we know. I remember...
Mine definitely is.
To your point, MySpace was a thing. The
Mojitos.
Flip phones were a thing. There was no smartphones yet. The iPhone had a couple of years to come out.
I didn't even have a cell phone.
I think it was announced maybe in 2005, but I don't think it came out. Yeah, I didn't have a cell phone either, but if you did, you either had a flip phone or if you were really high end, you had a BlackBerry, so you could get emails. Online dating was still stigmatized in a way that it's not stigmatizing.
I wrote a blog about it.
I don't know. It feels like I'm talking about myself here because I'm not. I'm really talking about just the year now. Everybody had Livestrong bracelets.
Not me.
Just talking more about the year 2005 in general. Cost of living. $1 back then is worth 77 cents today. And $1 today is worth $1.29.
Gotcha. Okay.
So basically 9.1 inflation index. So yeah, if you spend $1 for something today, you would have purchased it for 77 cents back then. This is interesting though. A gallon of gas, national average, was $2.25 in 2005. That $2.25 is worth $2.90 in today dollars. Today's national gas average is $2.28, which was basically $1.77 in 2005 dollars. But people went crazy over gas prices in 2005.
But gas has been super expensive since then, though. Too.
Well, right now it's super cheap.
Yeah, now it's super cheap.
Well, the peak gas price 2008 and 2011 were both peak at $3.26 and then $3.62 at 2011. And then thank God we discovered fracking. So now it's like free gas all day long, right, guys? High five.
Hey. I will say also, in reading some of the stuff I wrote, I was deep into like liberal outrage fatigue because it was deep into the presidency of George W. Bush, and now I guess from that I learned just not to read much, which is how I deal with the world today because I can't invest my energy.
Don't engage.
Yeah, I was there with you guys on that one. That was the year that I think we discovered a lot of our friends were hyper conservative that we never would have guessed. We all were. I remember that was George Bush he kicked off his second term in 2005. Tony Blair was elected for his third term.
Oh, I forgot about Tony Blair.
I remember we went to a rally, a John Kerry rally.
Yes.
In St. Louis.
I
think that's when you won the first time.
I guess that would have been 2004 technically.
That was 2004.
But because it was the debate, like one of their debates was in St. Louis, and then there was rallies obviously right after that. The IRA announced an end to armed conflict.
Oh. The troubles were over.
No more troubles in Ireland.
Everything's peachy keen.
Catholics, Protestants together again for the first time.
Great.
Lance Armstrong, speaking of bracelets, won his 7th straight Tour de France.
Good job, Lance Armstrong. All right.
Nothing will ever be problematic with him.
Ryan will like this one.
Oh.
If you didn't cover it already.
I don't know.
Dennis Rader, the BTK killer.
BTK!
Was found and charged. Remember Terry Schiavo?
Yep.
This is let's just be
Death Watch.
Let's just be controversial. Her feeding tube was removed after months of legal BS. Eric Rudolph, the Olympic Park bomber, was sentenced. I don't know why it took so long.
that.
Wasn't the Olympic Park? Wasn't that 1996?
I think that's a different...
I'm talking about Atlanta. The Atlanta Olympics, 1996. There was a bombing, and I'm assuming that's who that. I should have read a little bit more about that. I just took a headline
and was like,
Didn't
"Here
go
we
into
go."
it at all.
Copy paste.
New York City transport workers strike. Shut down New York City subways and bus services for like 3 or 4 days.
I have no memory of this.
London won the rights to host the 2012 Olympics.
I don't know why anybody wants to host the Olympics.
Yeah, I've heard it's kind of like when team owners of any sport threaten to move their team to another city. If you're smart and you're a city, you just say fuck you and let them go do it, because the money that we pay out in taxes you never get it back.
No.
From the team. And I've heard the same thing about the Olympics.
Yeah, it's always
that investment is never
money sucks.
Never pays out.
Then you're stuck with a derelict
just
facility.
Yeah, structure.
Yeah.
Speaking of George W. Bush, as we were moments ago, this was the year that George W. Bush at a G8 summit said, "Hey guys, I'm not going to legally bind us to these carbon emission standards that you want us to deal with," which is in direct conflict with Autobot City's many Earth-friendly power sources. I believe that
good tie-in.
Yeah, I needed something. I believe that Autobot City was LEEDs certified.
Yes, they had hydroelectric power, they had solar power, they had oil derricks. Well, that's problematic, but
I think Dickhead Mountain is a historic monument now.
It is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I take the family there every year.
That's where you can see everything from.
Yes.
We get to the tip top of it. The Supreme Court said that medicinal marijuana users can be prosecuted for violating federal drug
God, what a
laws.
difference a decade makes.
North Korea was all like, "We got the bomb, bitches."
Well, they're still kind of like that.
They are like that, but this is their first announcement that they had nuclear weapons. I don't know that we believed them at the time or not. I think we believe them now. But...
We were like, prove it!
It was the axis of evil or whatever.
And then Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
1,835 fatalities, 125 billion in damage. Still number one, tied with Hurricane Harvey as the costliest tropical cyclone.
I
they need a recount to figure that.
I had a Katrina fact as well during when Kanye West called out George Bush during a concert for hurricane relief, saying he doesn't care about black people, which I found extremely ironic in the context of now he supports a white supremacist.
Oh yeah.
Well,
yeah.
He's lost his mind.
Oh, he's crazy. Mike Myers, he was Mike Myers.
That was so
like a deer in headlights.
Yes.
Poor guy.
I mean, I think he's passionate, Mr. West.
He's insane.
He's passionate. He's contrarian.
There's some speculation that he has like some kind of disorder.
Well, I think he definitely would admit bipolar, but my wife would say that the head trauma that he suffered as a result of a car crash, like right before he got really famous, like there's repercussions of that.
I would absolutely
that are just manifesting itself in the last few years.
Assume that's true. Head trauma, one of the number one coincidental cases where a lot of serial killers have head injury.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Like lots.
I remember a cookie jar fell on my head when I was a kid. What does that mean?
I don't know. Did you get a concussion? Like there's a reason that a lot of football players are so... There's research that links head injury and concussion to anger issues.
Well, try and avoid it if you can.
Don't get hurt. Everybody stay safe.
Okay, I'm going to cover a few general pop culture points here. That's news and politics. A couple pop cultural points, and then I'll let somebody else talk for a minute.
Okay.
Splitsville.
Oh.
Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, they divorced this year. Denise Richards filed for divorce from Charlie Sheen.
Denise Richards.
Renee Zellweger and Kenny Chesney met, got married and got their marriage annulled in 2005.
Speaking of people who lost their mind, she seems problematic. Like she has problems.
And Spike and Carly, they broke up. Got back together, though.
I see what you did there.
It was just a hiatus. They were on a break.
Is that where she was in the movie? They were divorced. They were separated.
Exactly. That's why nobody was taking care of Daniel. Russell Crowe pleaded guilty to second-degree assault after he threw a phone at a hotel employee. Michael Jackson was found not guilty of child molestation.
Wow, that was 2005. I feel like that was older.
14-week trial. Well, he had two. He had two things that he went through. One, he ended up settling out of court, and then this one, he's like, "I'm taking it all away," and he won.
I don't think he touched any kids. I think he just didn't know how the world worked.
This is a really good. I mean, regardless of how you feel about it, there is a good stand-up where Dave Chappelle says, he doesn't think that Michael Jackson was trying to molest kids or sexually abuse kids. He says that Michael Jackson was trying to impress the kids. Mm-hmm. Oh, look, I have look at my pet monkey, or look at my carnival.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah, because Michael, and I'm saying this without really, I just don't want to piss anybody off.
All those Michael Jackson haters out there.
I don't want to take any kind of stand.
But I think there was a huge element of him being famous since he was very young and probably not having much of definitely didn't have a normal childhood.
There's some pretty arrested development there and some child beatings.
And so I think he could connect better with kids, and he wanted to impress.
I think he kind of also was wanted to recapture childhood.
Recapture a child.
In a bit.
Okay.
Perfect.
I agree with you guys, though. I mean, I don't know whether or not that he diddled a kid, fiddled killed a kid fiddler. But I guess you have to give him the benefit of the doubt since he won that court case. Yeah. Either way, weird guy.
Yeah.
Parents probably shouldn't have been letting their kids spend the night over at Michael Jackson's house.
I agree with you there.
I don't know why you'd let a child spend the night at anybody's house that they're not related to, but...
Yeah, I agree with you there.
Speaking of weird guys, this was the beginning of Tom Cruise's crazy starting to shine through.
Too. The couch jump?
The couch jump. The Oprah couch jump moment. I love Katie Holmes!
Yeah.
Nobody take medication.
Speaking of weirdos and kids, as we just were, Nicolas Cage had a son this year that he named Kal-El.
Yes.
I forgot all about that.
This should have been in the relationships part. Jude Law was busted for cheating on his fiancée, Sienna Miller, with their nanny. But Sienna, in turn, was also boning Daniel Craig behind Jude Law's back. So I guess it's all fair play.
Who wins in that situation? Daniel Craig.
I guess he does, and the nanny.
Yeah, and the nanny.
Yeah. So Bill Cosby, people forget this. There was a first sexual assault lawsuit. A Temple University employee alleged that he drugged and fondled 9 women with similar stories agreed to testify.
So that's when it started?
But prosecutors declined to file criminal charges.
Oh, wow.
Wow, so it started at that point.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that.
I remember that hitting the news, but then everybody forgot about it, and then it came back up and became a thing.
Believe the women.
Drawing Muhammad was all the rage back in 2005, with the emphasis on rage.
Oh my God!
There were lots of violent protests. I think it was a Dutch cartoon.
That
kind of made it big. Notable deaths. And then we'll get into somebody else for a little while.
I have a notable death section, too.
Oh, do you? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I wrote some funny stuff with it. We'll see whose is better.
Okay.
Notable deaths. Noted golf swing pantomimer Johnny Carson died in 2005. Famous cocaine abuser John Z. DeLorean died in 2005. Yeah. Celebrated white robe wearer John Paul II died in 2005. Celebrated black robe wearer William Rehnquist died in 2005. And of course, Arthur Miller, most famous, of course, for locking down Marilyn Monroe for 6 years.
Locking down?
And then Peter Jennings, Rosa Parks, Pat Morita, and Richard Pryor, who we referred to at the top of the show, all were celebrities that passed away in 2005. Is there anybody else who passed away in 2005 that you'd like to talk about right now, Kate?
I would. Anne Bancroft from The Graduate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Mrs. Robinson. Vincent Schiavelli. He was kind of he was known for being in different movies, such as he was in The Great Gatsby. He was in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Night Shift, Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Buckaroo Banzai, Amadeus, Better Off Dead. He's just kind of an odd-looking guy.
Can you see him again?
Yeah. Let me. You've seen him in different movies.
Oh, Ghost.
Oh, yeah, he was
in
the subway
Ghost.
guy in Ghost.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why that's my touchstone for that guy, but
Because it was probably his most notable role.
I think so.
He was Paul. Also, okay, so that's that
He was
guy.
in One Flew. I remember him in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest.
He has
as well.
a very distinct look.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Winchell, who was the voice of Tigger, passed away. Ossie Davis, who was JFK in Bubba Hotep.
Mm-hmm. Great movie.
Matthew McGroy, the big, huge, giant guy in Big Fish. Movie Big Fish.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. The John Vernon, who was the dean in Animal House, and then a bunch of other movies.
Yeah,
Dean
reminds
Wormer.
me. Vern Troy died recently, didn't he?
Vern Troyer?
Vern Troyer.
I don't think it was recent.
Oh,
Are
okay.
you just bringing it up because his name is similar to John Vernon?
Yes.
Okay. Bob Denver died in 2005. He was Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
All right.
A big one, James Doohan.
Scotty.
Scotty died. Thurl Ravenscroft, who was the voice of Tony the Tiger.
Definitely not his real name.
You know what, guys, though? He was great.
Well done.
Mitch Hedberg.
Oh, wow. That was 2005. Shit.
God.
Luther Vandross.
I did read that one. I couldn't come up with a funny joke about it. So.
No?
Luther Vandross.
Yeah.
That's the additional ones. The other ones you touched on. But there was the celebrity deaths category for 2005 on the IMDb had 3,201 names in it.
There's that many celebrities.
Yeah.
So
some of them are quote unquote
that
celebrities.
So that's the ones that stood out that I thought would be of interest to us and our listeners.
Did you do a literature segment or just a segment about one particular person? This might be a good time to talk about.
Well, I was
not.
hoping to. I have just a little bit to talk about left in the celebrity death section.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead. No.
Set me up. Hunter S. Thompson.
Who?
Yeah, right. So, and we all know who Hunter S. Thompson is. Gonzo journalist, writer.
Fear and Loathing.
He
gads, man.
Hell's Angels.
Beat the shit out of him.
Other stuff. But he died on February 20th, 2005 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head.
That really bummed me out when I learned that.
Yeah.
Like, that was, I mean, I had a big affinity, for Hunter S. Thompson, and not even just because of like his writing and stuff like that, but I'm like, yeah, I can get how that you can just want to take yourself out.
Well, he left a note for his wife. It says, "No more games, no more bombs, no more walking, no more fun, no more swimming. 67. That is 17 years past 50. 17 more than I needed or wanted. Boring. I am always bitchy. No fun for anybody. 67. You are getting greedy. Act your old age. Relax. This won't hurt." And that was the
very Hunter death note.
last thing he ever wrote. Obviously.
Yeah, and if you're feeling like this, get help. Reach out to somebody, because I understand these feelings too. I have had them, and it's you can maybe he could have been helped, but he didn't want to. So
yeah.
Well, I don't know anything about like depression or anything like that. I understand he had was having some major like physical pain. I mean, he was 67. He lived a life. I don't know if it was more like I looked at it less of like succumbing to some disease and more just leaving on your terms. Like, we've got half of our lives left in front of us, but it's not really the good half. Speak for yourself. But when you get to that age, like it's still just not as good as right now or your 20s.
Where are you going with this?
If you're older than 40,
Give up.
Accept the inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like the older I get, I enjoy my life a little more. The older I get, it gets a little less depressing for me, I guess. And maybe that's just a perspective thing, and maybe that'll change when I get to 67. But like, I would not go through my 20s or 30s again for any amount of money. It was a pretty unfortunate time for me.
Yeah, we're glad you pulled through it. It was.
There's still time.
It was interesting to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, great. As a spectator sport, it was top notch.
It could be a movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we all had an affinity for Hunter S. Thompson. A lot of people, like Gen X people, like Hunter S. Thompson just had this, like kids who went to college around our time really were into him. But I think to actually know him, he was probably I didn't know him, but I mean, is those people that did, I mean, sure, he had people like Johnny Depp and like these kind of sycophants that clung on to him, but I think he was kind of an asshole.
Probably.
He was definitely, what's the word I'm looking for? He only really cared about himself. It felt like. I think his son...
Sorry, go ahead.
I think his son published a biography that goes into some detail around that, but like Hunter wasn't a big part of his kids' lives or some of his kids' lives.
I can see that.
I think for many creative people, there's a certain amount of selfishness there. Like, Jim Henson's daughter was not very happy with him because he was never around, but it's, he had a passion and it was not his kids.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably a mixture of maybe like highly creative people, true artists, and also people that are prolific and just highly competent and focused.
I think that there's probably, you don't hear about the people that do it right.
Maybe, and that's true too.
Yeah, there's not a huge Venn diagram overlap of very successful people and good dad.
Right.
I think, what do you mean? I mean, I think there's probably a lot of very successful people out there that are good dads.
I guess it depends on how you define success.
What are you basing that on?
There are very few instances where I've heard of someone's kid saying that they were a good dad, and it's somebody who's famous and rich.
Back to the point, I'm saying people are more likely to talk about bad things than good things.
Sure.
I don't know though. I don't think there's data to support your point necessarily. Or it's
probably.
Not.
I mean, I don't have the figures on hand.
It's not on hand. You probably do hear about the bad stuff.
Sure.
However, I do think that as a personality trait, people that are highly successful and driven in their careers or their chosen platforms don't have the best marriages or family lives because the work takes precedence over the family life. But we'll find out. Caleb will do the research and he'll get back to us on our next special episode of Autopod Decepticast.
We'll put a pin in that.
Family Matters.
To bring it back around to Hunter S. Thompson real quick to finish it off. So his funeral, his ashes were fired out of a cannon in a ceremony funded by Johnny Depp. And attendees included his friends Jack Nicholson and Senator John Kerry.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Yeah, back to John Kerry.
Who's in an episode of Cheers?
John Kerry's in Cheers?
Yeah, he was a senator from Massachusetts.
Because he was a senator at the time,
yep.
back in the 80s.
Yep.
Did you know he was also like he was I don't know if he was a POW or something like that.
He was in Vietnam.
Yeah, he definitely was active.
He was he I think was like captain of a PT boat or something like that.
So.
But the Swift boat veterans will tell you the real truth behind it.
Exactly.
Remember that whole
yes.
thing?
No.
It became a phrase, getting Swift boated. Basically, Republicans found a bunch of guys to tell stories about how John Kerry's not a war hero.
Oh. It's also like tied in with calling people and having leading questions of like neither response is good or like imply. It's the whole Fox News thing where you just ask a question that has no basis in reality.
How would you feel if we told you that John Kerry murdered your cousin?
Exactly.
Well, I wouldn't like that at all.
You don't want that as your president, do you?
No. Anyway, that's me.
Thank you, Caleb. Ryan, do you have what do you want to talk about?
I had TV and movies.
Well, why don't you do that?
Okay. I looked up, this was weird, and in addition to just being a time in my life that I'm like, I was just not great, I guess, I looked up the movies and TV, and I'm like, I don't think I liked any of these movies. That were like, these are the top grossing films of 2005. Number 10 was Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Number 9 was Madagascar. 8, Batman Begins. 7, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. which is fine. It's not bad. 6 is Wedding Crashers, which is also okay. 5, King Kong. 4, War of the Worlds. 3, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. 2, The Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And number 1 was Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, which is fine. It's also not terrible.
That was the highest grossing. That was the highest grossing.
It was the highest grossing film of 2005.
Because those were all some big movies.
Yeah.
Wow.
Of course, Mr. and Mrs. Smith would be the movie that broke up Brangelina.
Tying it all
or
back
no,
around.
it created Brangelina. Broke up Bradifer.
I don't.
Jennifer
Aniston?
Jennifer Brad Pittston.
Yeah.
Anyway, that happened. I was so excited when the announcement came out. Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Yeah. I thought it was going to be, I remember reading about it in Rolling Stone. I was like, Tim Burton's the shit. But here's the deal. Tim Burton really only has about 1 out of 10 movies that are any good. I'm kind of anti Tim Burton.
I would put it lower. I mean, I'd put it like maybe
1 out of 20.
No, I mean, I would put it at like 1 out of 4, 1 out of 3. I think Big Fish is a good movie.
It is.
I mean,
I think Pee-wee's Big Adventure is one of the best movies ever made.
Sure.
I love the first and second Batman.
I think the first Batman is great. The second Batman is all right.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
Sure is.
I know, clenched teeth.
Did he do Addams Family? Nightmare Before Christmas?
Of course. He produced it.
Yeah,
I think it was based on his artwork styles.
Yeah.
I will say though that I do not like what's the movie with Mark Wahlberg where he goes into space and there's monkey people.
Planet of the Apes.
Oh, Planet of the Apes. Yeah, not so much.
No, I hated that movie.
Yeah.
Edward Scissorhands was all right.
Oh yeah,
I like it.
He does have a lot. I mean,
the
thing is, his original storytelling is good.
Big Fish is a good movie.
But I don't know some of his. Well, let's talk about his failures. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
I didn't hate it as much as everybody else seems to.
I'm okay with it.
I liked it fine.
I haven't seen the Alice in Wonderland movies, but they were fairly panned.
That looks not good. Like just the visuals on that looks not good.
I feel like Mars Attacks is hit and miss. There are things I like about it.
I love Mars Attacks. I take that back. I love Mars Attacks. That's a great movie.
I think for me, whenever like the ones that I like, I really like, and the ones I don't are like I don't hate them.
Oh, Beetlejuice.
Yeah, I think you mentioned that.
I said that earlier.
Okay. Yeah,
but he's doing the Dumbo remake.
I don't know why that needs to be in existence.
Slow down, Ed Wood.
I'm just going. I'm going down to the bottom here. Yeah, so where I guess his first major film was Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Everything else was shorts.
Such a great movie. Sleepy Hollow's kind of mediocre.
That was mediocre.
Yeah.
Planet of the Apes was really, I think, his first big miss. Because I think was Edward Wood critically liked?
I think so.
The World of Stainboy. I don't know anything about that. Big Fish.
Corpse Bride's fine.
Sweeney. I think people think Sweeney Todd is pretty good.
I like it.
People don't like Alice in Wonderland. They don't like Dark Shadows.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Frank and Weenie. I think Big Eyes was fairly well regarded. All right, well, I take back everything I said. We'll say not 1 in 10. We'll say solid, maybe even 33%.
There you go. I'll accept some, but 1 in 10 is a bit extreme.
In fact, I might even flip the numbers and say 66% of his movies are good.
2 out of 3.
33
seems about right.
Are not good. But those 33 just suck so hard that it kind of drains the life out of his movies.
I kind of made my own little list of movies I liked from 2005, which was Walk the Line,
that was a great movie.
Sin City, Sky High, which is a Kurt Russell superhero movie.
Yeah. It's a Robert Rodriguez movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Sky High.
We watched it on a bus in Mexico, as a matter of fact, when we went to Coba.
Directed by Mike Mitchell, written by Robert Rodriguez did Sin City though,
which is a good
it's true.
Movie.
And then Waiting, which is the Ryan Reynolds movie.
You're thinking of Spy Kids.
Yeah.
That's right.
The 40-Year-Old Virgin and Brokeback Mountain.
I've still never seen Brokeback Mountain.
Really? That's a good movie.
It's great.
But 40-Year-Old Virgin is a classic comedy.
Classic Carell.
I think at the time I saw that, which I saw it a couple years after it came out, I hadn't laughed as hard at a movie in forever.
Bags of Sand.
And that basically created or recreated the whole Apatow thing. Okay. What else you want to talk about?
Well, let's do the TV of 2005. Some shows that I liked. The Office, the U.S. version. My Name is Earl. American Dad. The Colbert Report started in 2005. The Boondocks. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Which is still great.
It's good. Robot Chicken, Iron Chef America, and Intervention, which is a show I watch when I want to feel better about myself.
Yeah.
Shows that other people seem to like for whatever reason is How I Met Your Mother, Criminal Minds, Grey's Anatomy, and Dancing with the Stars.
Those were the top shows of the year?
No, just shows that came out in that year that
people like, but Ryan doesn't.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I think How I Met Your Mother had some magic when it first started, but unlike It's Always Sunny, as it moved on, it lost its magic and wasn't great anymore.
I've never seen an episode, but it doesn't.
Always Sunny?
No, of How I Met Your Mother, but I've seen bits, and I'm like, I don't really want this.
It's enjoyable enough, but it was. I could see how it has a formulaic sort of feel to it. Intervention.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, I have not seen very many episodes of that, but I always come back to that. I think it's
Oh, I know what you're gonna say.
It's such a sad show, right? These people have problems, big problems. Their family wants to help. It's a little exploitative because it's on TV, but there was one episode that I feel like I've seen 3 times, every time in Ryan's presence, where the person who's an addict is addicted to inhalants. and you know, she would do, what do they call that, those interviews where like you're in the room by yourself and you're I've just got this problem.
Yeah, the confessional.
I'm trying the confessional. She's like, I'm doing what I can to get over it.
But it's like from off camera, out of screen, she just brings this fucking can up and snorts it. And it's so unintentionally funny because she's staring directly to camera.
I could not stop laughing at her pain because it's just the most... I'm sorry. It is a very silly thing to be addicted to begin with, but it just looks silly. You can't help it.
Right.
Just can't help it.
Well,
and she brought it with her to the confessional.
And she brings it from out of frame to her nose.
It is the funniest thing.
It was almost like it wasn't even really her arm. Like it was a puppet's arm that just comes up from out of nowhere.
I'll put that bit up on our website.
Yeah, I always was bummed out on that show where they try really hard to get the person to go to rehab, and the person would finally agree to it. I shouldn't make light of this shit, but they visit them, after they've been in rehab, like, yeah, I'm turning my life around and seeing life better now, and then they always would end it with a statement, and it says, 2 weeks later, they were on drugs.
Yeah, that was always a real bummer.
Damn it.
Yeah.
And 80% of the time, I'm sure that was the case.
It's hard to get off drugs. Addiction's tough.
Addiction's a terrible thing.
Yeah. There was one woman on there who was a millionaire, and she just took limos everywhere.
Yeah, that was crazy.
And but also she has fuck you money, so what are you threatening her with?
Right.
There's no, how are you going to cut me off?
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, I'm not going to stop paying for your phone.
No, she just had she had a lot of money, and she was spending it very weird way. She didn't like to fly. She would just take a limo everywhere, like hundreds of miles.
Yep.
Was Intervention... first of all, what was her problem? Was she a drunk?
She was an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Was she a drunk?
Is Intervention the one that had the lady that couldn't stop drinking her own piss?
No, there was another show.
I think you're talking about My Strange Addiction.
Probably.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
okay.
Let's not even go there. Please.
It didn't come out in 2005.
No, it did
That's
not.
right.
I like to
Back to
think
2005.
back at the Transformers. I like to think of all this happening in the periphery of what we actually see. Like in the movie, George W. Bush is president.
Hot Rods. They're driving. Him and Daniel are driving to Dickhead Mountain, and they pass on the street on the road. The lady in the limo.
Yeah, exactly. And she just screams some cat lady shit at him out the window as they
She
pass.
did have a cat.
Did it go in the limo with her?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I just to round out the segment of events, I had 2 or 3 little short things. Doctor Who returned to the BBC after 16 years. Star Trek Enterprise aired its final episode, ending the 18-year run of an ongoing series on the air in the franchise.
Oh, I didn't realize that was that. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was that.
I didn't realize that was that. And Fox canceled the show Who's Your Daddy after 1 episode.
Who was in Who's Your Daddy?
Well,
who was your daddy?
It was an adult. It was a reality show, game show, that an adult put up for adoption as a baby has to choose their biological father from 25 men, and if they're right, they win $100,000.
Good Lord.
That's really understandable why it didn't make it.
Wow.
This was around peak reality trash era.
Yeah, remember the game show, I think also on Fox, where you were hooked up to a lie detector?
Yeah.
Like, why would anyone agree to go on this show? Oh, money.
Money, yeah.
Yeah.
And attention.
Mm-hmm.
I will take over a section now of music. Musical milestones.
Oh.
Here's a few things that happened. Destiny's Child announced its plans to disband. Guitar Hero became the video game craze.
I still have like 4 of those guitars.
It was such a fun game. It is crazy how everybody all of a sudden had it and played it.
It's still a game in Incredible Pizza.
It makes normal people feel like they're musicians.
Normies. A young country music upstart named Carrie Underwood crushed her opponents on American Idol.
Yep.
But to bring it back to the movie, the prediction that pop metal would be the dominant form of music in the year 2005, well, that was a bold prediction that did not pan out. The Billboard Top 100 singles for the year 2005.
Are you going to read all 100 of them?
No.
Jesus.
The top 100 is the list.
Oh,
I'm going to give you the songs that were at the top of the top 100.
Gotcha.
Throughout the year. That was, so in January through February, Mario, Let Me Love You. Do you remember that song?
Nope.
Smash hit. I'm sure you remember this song, 50 Cent featuring Olivia Candy Shop, March 5th through April 30th.
I wish I didn't know that one.
Well, it's not a bad song. Then the Ms. Gwen Stefani took over the charts in May with the song Holla Back Girl.
Yeah.
I love Gwen Stefani.
Times I've been round that track, it's not
I'm down
just
with
gonna
that.
happen
I'm down with
like that. Ain't no holla back girl. Shit's bananas.
Yeah. BANANS.
I just got Andy she loves Gwen Stefani because she's from California, and I got her a Gwen Stefani long sleeve shirt.
Was Andy from L.A. or Orange County?
Andy was actually from L.A. County. She was
LA
not from.
County,
She was
gotcha.
not from Anaheim, but she
gotcha.
was.
She can still like No Doubt. It's okay. Dang Gwen Stefani.
It'd be like me liking someone in Springfield, even though I grew up in Nixa.
I mean, there's a bigger distance there, but yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Then taking over her is Mariah Carey with the song We Belong Together. That was at the top of the charts June 11th through June 25th. Then she was upstaged on July 2nd by Carrie Underwood, Inside Your Heaven. That song was at the top of the charts for 1 week, and then the Mariah Carey song came back. And basically July through September was all Mariah Carey. Yeah, that was altogether. That song was on the charts for 14 weeks. That was the biggest performer of that year. Another solid performer for 10 weeks. Kanye West owned the charts with his song Gold Digger. He ain't messing with no brokes, as you might recall.
Oh, yeah.
And then the year closed out with a pre-felonious assault conviction. Chris Brown, his song Run It. Basically the end of November through the end of December. So that was the Hot 100 singles. The Hot 100 albums is interesting because it's like there's only really maybe 12 there's really only less like maybe 10 artists that top the singles chart. But a lot of artists, like it's more diversified when you look at the albums. So Eminem Encore had a top album, Green Day American Idiot was a top album, The Game the documentary, Kenny Chesney, Three Doors Down, Ray Charles, I'm not going to say this correctly, Omarion, 50 Cent, Mariah Carey, Rob Thomas, Bruce Springsteen, 9 Inch Nails, Dave Matthews Band, System of a Down, Audioslave, Coldplay, George Strait, Robert Kelly, of course. Fake, got to be formal about it. R. Kelly. Stained, Hillary Duff, Kanye West, Paul Wall, Disturbed, Gretchen Wilson, Nickelback, Alicia Keys, Ashley Simpson, Destiny's Child, and Madonna all had #1 albums. None of those are really close to what we hear on the Transformers the movie soundtrack. I guess you could argue maybe System of a Down, Audioslave, and Stained are descendants of the pop metal from the soundtrack. Not really.
No.
I mean, it's... Well, I guess you could say that pop metal ultimately succumbed to what was alt rock or modern rock. And then this is like...
New metal.
The worst of
the worst
of modern rock. Like what modern rock basically evolved into new metal. And
my
some of it's bad.
I don't want to offend any of our listeners. I didn't like that era of metal.
I feel like these new metal people, though, System of a Down, Audioslave, and perhaps Stained. I think Stained became a caricature of itself, or like a caricature of the genre.
I can listen to System of a Down.
Yeah, System of a Down is awesome.
Yeah.
And Audioslave wasn't as good as like Rage Against the Machine, but it was a proper analog. Anyway.
Okay, fair enough.
Grammys.
U2 cleaned up the Grammys that year with Best Rock Performance, Best Rock Album, Song of the Year, and Album of the Year. The album they were on was Dismantle an Atomic Bomb, which is the one that had that song like, hello, hello, uno, dos, tres, catorce.
Oh, God.
Hello, hello.
It was a cool video. Green Day took home Record of the Year with their song Boulevard of Broken Dreams. The best new artist that year. This is how long ago this was. John Legend was best new artist. He also won best R&B album, best male R&B performance. Kanye West cleaned up the rap category with best rap solo performance, Gold Digger, best rap song, and best rap album with Late Registration. Other winners included Kelly Clarkson, Maroon 5, Stevie Wonder, Gorillaz, Burt Bacharach, Chemical Brothers, you like them, Tony Bennett, Bruce Springsteen, System of a Down, Slipknot, White Stripes, Mariah Carey, Beyonce, Aretha Franklin, Jay-Z, and the Black Eyed Peas.
You know, when I hear lineups like that, I can start to understand, like, Ryan's aversion to music.
What's your problem with this lineup? Is it Black Eyed Peas?
That's the one.
Is it?
We don't.
It's not a bad lineup.
We don't have to go.
But here's what I think about it. I think it's a common critique of the Grammys that they're kind of out of touch. And that feels like an out of touch list of people, with the exception of like maybe some of the rap acts, but Burt Bacharach and Tony Bennett. And I don't remember what the categories were. Bruce Springsteen.
Oldest fucking white dude.
So that takes me to probably the biggest musical event of the year, which was the Live 8 concert. Do you guys remember that Live 8 concert? It took place
I remember the name.
over, I believe, 8 different cities.
You got to realize that I was really into writing that autobiography.
Yeah, you got Scott Joplin covered from the musical front. So the Live 8 concert was put together by Bob Geldof, similar to the Live Aid concert.
Live Aid, yeah.
And it was about global poverty with, I think, really more of a focus on African poverty. But 8 cities, London, Berlin, Rome, Philadelphia, Bari, Chiba in Japan, Johannesburg. Is it Johannesburg or Johannesburg?
I think it's Johannesburg.
Moscow, Cornwall, and Edinburgh all had simultaneous big
You mean
concerts.
Edinburgh?
Edinburgh. Well, hold on. Okay, so the RGH is just kind of pronounced like...
Let's see, maybe
it's like how it's pronounced Tim's.
How do you, let's go to how do you pronounce? Oh.
Edinburgh.
Aha!
Okay.
Edinburgh.
All right.
Well, we got it.
We do have a lot of UK listeners.
Yeah, I don't want to...
So my apologies for that. And Edinburgh.
You mean Edinburgh.
Edinburgh. So... let's see, a couple notable things about the concert. It had the reunion of Pink Floyd with Roger Waters, which was the first time he'd performed with the band since 1981. A couple other pieces around it. So the London concert had Annie Lennox, Coldplay, Elton John. The London concert was where it's at. George Michael, Joss Stone, Madonna, Mariah Carey, Paul McCartney, Pink Floyd, R.E.M., Robbie Williams, Scissor Sisters. Remember those? They were a thing.
We saw them in concert. No, I saw them in concert in Columbia, Missouri.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was good.
Any good?
Yeah, it was good.
How many people are in that band?
Like 5.
Well, that's a strong
5 or 6, I don't know.
Snoop Dogg, Snow Patrol, The Killers, The Who, U2. Paris had Shakira, Dido, Muse, and The Cure, and I only listed the ones that I knew or cared about. In Berlin, you had Aha, Green Day, Phil Collins, and Brian Wilson. Rome, the only people I'd ever heard of in the Rome were Faith Hill and Tim McGraw were randomly there.
Interesting.
Philadelphia would have been a fun one to go to. Alicia Keys, Black Eyed Peas, Dave Matthews Band, Britney Spears, Destiny's Child, Jay-Z, Stevie Wonder, Simon and Garfunkel, and DJ Jazzy Jeff. Will Smith hosted the event and led the crowd in a phenomenal performance of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air theme song.
No way!
You can find it on YouTube, actually. It's pretty cool. In Barrie, Ontario, I'm assuming I'm pronouncing that right, Bare Naked Ladies, Bryan Adams, Buck Cherry, basically Neil Young, all the biggest Canadian stars performed.
Was Yes there?
Was Motley Crue a Canadian band?
Yes was not a Canadian band.
They weren't?
Rush
is what I'm thinking of.
Yes was from...
Tom
it ends
Cochran
in a
was
similar
there.
sound.
It's one word. Yeah.
Yep. In Chiba, Japan, you had Bjork and Good Charlotte. In Johannesburg, the only band I'd heard of that was there was Orchestra Baobab, which
That's the only thing anybody knows about performers in Johannesburg. Moscow had the Pet Shop Boys.
Cool.
In Cornwall, England, Dido made an appearance over there as well. And in Edinburgh, Annie Lennox, and this is awesome, James Brown performed there. So yeah, Brian, we were roommates at the time. I remember, speaking of the pool at Bradford Park, listening to the broadcast of the Live 8 on XM radio down at the pool.
I still have that XM radio in my basement.
Really?
Yeah.
So that is music. Caleb.
Sports.
Why? Let's talk about the sports of 2005. Why don't we?
When Aaron told me what topics I had to talk about, I got sports, and Aaron suggested I talk about the 2005 Olympics.
It was just a suggestion.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, there were no Winter or Summer Olympics that year.
What?
No, there was no Olympics that year.
It's only every 4 years.
Yeah.
Why did it come up on a list of things that happened in 2000? You're right. It's an odd year.
Yeah. So
why don't you cover? I like the idea that maybe you just sent him on a fool's errand.
Well,
fuck the peoplehistory.com, where for all I know, everything I took from this website is wrong.
Google right now.
Katrina definitely happened.
Right now, Google Greece Summer Olympics.
2004.
Okay.
All right.
So,
But there was probably a lot of great sporting things that happened.
There was one in particular that I want to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say it's of equal importance, if not more important than the Summer Olympics. And that would be in August 21st of 2005 in Washington, D.C. There was the WWE SummerSlam.
What?
Okay. And we're talking about a huge matchup. You had Hulk Hogan. Mm-hmm. He was
he Hollywood Hogan at this point?
No, he was past that. Actually, he was past his prime. He was 52 at the time.
Jesus Christ!
And he wrestled Shawn Michaels, who was 40. And it was there's different lineups, different matches here, mm-hmm. but that was the main draw. Hulk Hogan won that one. You had Batista versus John Layfield. Batista, we all know from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yep.
And Blade Runner 2, The Legend of Curly's Gold. They were settling a feud. No, wait. They were not settling a feud. Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels settled a feud. Batista and John were fighting for the World Heavyweight Champion belt, which Batista won. You also had Chris Jericho fighting our man John Cena from the Bumblebee movie. Wow. WWE Champion belt. John Cena won that. Mm-hmm. It's interesting what they're fighting for. Like, you've got the World Heavyweight Championship belt. You've got the WWE Championship belt. Here's an interesting one. You got Rey Mysterio versus Eddie Guerrero. The winner of that fight gained the custody of Rey Mysterio's child.
Stupid. It's so stupid.
Thankfully, Rey Mysterio won that and got to keep
his own child. It's like there were wrestling matches where, and this is very gross and sexist, but like the winner would
over the
win
woman.
The woman of the wife or whatever.
Like Miss Elizabeth.
Yes.
Like Miss Elizabeth. That was my terrible.
Red Fox.
That was good.
Well, yeah, that would be awesome to see Red Fox fight Macho Man Randy Savage.
I'm coming, Elizabeth.
For their own version of Miss Elizabeth.
That's right.
That's awesome. You had the Undertaker versus Randy Orton. Undertaker, interesting guy. His name's Mark Calloway. 6'10".
Jesus
309
Christ.
pounds.
He'd need a big coffin.
Is enormous. He never put him as the Undertaker, though. He would come out of coffins, I think, sometimes. He was undead.
Hulk Hogan's 6'7" or something like that.
They're big men. They're enormous. But anyway, another interesting fight that I want to talk about is Eugene versus Kurt Angle. Then they were fighting over. Kurt was trying to win back the Olympic gold medal that originally belonged to him.
Oh my
God!
God.
Kurt Angle, in real life, was a freestyle wrestler, won the freestyle wrestling gold medal at the 1996 Summer Olympics.
I like the idea of a freestyle wrestler being someone who just grabs somebody off the street and wrestles them.
Yeah, I think that's interesting as well.
Okay. Fuck you.
So Kurt Angle signed with WWF, now known as WWE, in '98. He, after getting in real life, sorry if I'm breaking kayfabe here, won a gold medal and then signed up in '98 to join WWE. He's the only pro wrestler in history to win the WWE Championship, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, the IGF IWGP Heavyweight Championship. I don't know what that means. King of the Ring, King of the Mountain, and the WWE and TNA Triple Crown. John Cena has said of Angle, he is, without question, the most gifted all-around performer we have ever had step into a ring. There will never be another like him. And also of note, he does been in some films. One that I think we should all watch. In 2013, he was in a horror film called Pro Wrestlers vs. Zombies. He portrays himself as both a human and a zombie in the movie.
What? All right.
And that's what I have about sports.
Well, thank you, Caleb.
That was
an
great.
awesome ride.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Thanks for covering the Summer Jam.
Yeah.
So does Summer Jam happen every year?
Summer Slam.
Oh, Summer Slam. I'm sorry.
Watch yourself.
Don't get it confused.
It happens every year.
I think I have a yard game called Slam Jam. No,
Yeah.
it's called
Can
Can
Jam.
Jam.
We're usually drunk when we play. We don't remember.
That's
what it's
true. Ryan, I believe you had some further content to close out the year 2005.
Just a little bit of Transformers stuff. What was happening in the Transformers world in 2005?
called. Oh, yeah, I guess we should talk about the Transformers.
Yeah, we're finally an hour and a half in. We're going to talk about the
I
Transformers.
really thought that there would be a lot more of an ability for us to connect real world events to the Transformers world and kind of riff off that
The
direction.
sports,
but
think about it real quick. John Cena.
That's true.
Okay.
There's one.
There's one.
Autobot City, LEED certified,
Yeah.
carbon emissions.
Yes, there you go. All right.
That's all you need. Oh, and of course, Carly and Spike.
That's
Yes.
right.
Took a break, got back together. Everything was
We made 3 jokes.
Sorry, everybody.
I got this from basically the TF Wiki. The Transformers Headmasters, which originally aired in Japan in 87 and 88, was dubbed and released in English in 2005.
I don't know if that's true.
That's what it said.
Oh, okay. I've never seen an English dubbed version of Headmaster.
Well, it says it's infamous for its poor quality, mistranslations, and incorrect names.
Okay, all right.
5
I'll look
actors
into it.
did all the voices.
Oh, maybe was it a fan thing?
I think it was.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. And the Transformers Cybertron, which debuted in Japan as Transformers Galaxy Force, was supposed to be a reboot, but ended up just being a continuation of Transformers Energon, and ended a black hole made by the destruction of Unicron threatened Cybertron and this whole galaxy. And an ancient Transformer, Vector Prime, comes back to Cybertron and has the Autobots go look for Cyber Planet keys.
Yeah, that was the gimmick. You
Yeah.
get the cyber keys, and you'd
It's like a power
You
up.
would penetrate your Transformer with it. It would give it new secret abilities.
Mm-hmm. That's it.
I didn't follow any of that stuff by I was not into I bought the occasional toy if I saw one that looked cool. Like I think I have an Armada or Robots in Disguise. I can't remember a version of Optimus Prime and a couple other random things. But also toy related, the Alternators series continued. I don't know if you guys remember that. I have.
Oh, yeah.
I have one.
Totally remember that.
I have one alternator. It's the Subaru that is also Smokescreen that's over here. But
Yeah, I have I don't know if I
Those
bought
are
them or
cool.
somebody gave them to me, but like I thought they were just like the aesthetic was really cool, and I ended up buying a couple of them.
Yeah, let's see. I guess I didn't note the ones that actually came out that year. I'm pretty sure one called Battle Ravage came out. I think the Shockwave came out that year. That was the year also. By the way, I'm going to shout out to Soul Fury, who is a writer, moderator on the TFW 2005 boards. He has an article that I go to every now and again. It's great. It's 30 articles. It's 30 years of Transformers in 30 days that he published right around the 30-year anniversary. And it's a great, great read, but a lot of this came from that. So IDW took up the reign of the comics that year.
Oh, wow.
They got the license from, I guess it was Dreamwave that had it previously. FUM Publications, which was an event, I think an event management group, correct me on that if I'm wrong, but they took over the Transformers convention, which was called oh shit, what was the Transformers convention
BotCon?
called? BotCon, thank you. But that doesn't exist anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when the plans came together for the live-action Transformers movie. In July of 2005, Michael Bay was named the director, and he had to be convinced to do it. Steven Spielberg had to get with him and really sell it on him and say,
Thanks,
look,
Steve.
Hey, look, Michael, let me put it to you this way. Just think of it as a story about a boy in his car who happens to be a giant alien robot. And that pitch was all Michael Bay needed to say, I'm going to make a shit ton of money on this fuck shit. And that's what he did. And the launch date was set for summer of 2007.
Yep. So that was disappointing.
The beginning of the end.
And then we had another decade of those movies.
That's true. I think we have one more exciting segment that we'd like to do before we close out the show, which is, well, Brian, I think you could best describe it, but it's a riff on a game that we played in our last episode.
Which was so much fun.
What was it last episode? Is this a Transformers episode?
It was, whether it was a racist short animation or pornography.
Oh, okay. Racist short animation or pornography. This is a little bit different, though. What have you got
No, this
going
is
on?
Hallmark movie or porn.
Yeah.
Hallmark holiday movie or
Yes,
Hallmark movie
they're
from
all
2005?
They're all Christmas related. I tried to do some that were like maybe like some Hanukkah movies, but Hallmark doesn't do Hanukkah movies, so it's all Christmas related.
Okay, all right.
Awesome. So how do you
ready
want to do
play
this?
None of it's from 2005.
No.
Okay.
So how do you want to?
I'm gonna read.
It's with our holiday theme.
Yeah, I'm gonna read.
Oh yeah, this is a Christmas episode.
That's right.
So how do you want to work this?
I'm gonna read the title, and you just guys guess whether it's Hallmark or porn, and then I'll tell you what it is,
Aaron,
and
I'll
tell
keep-
you
I'll keep track of our score.
a little bit about it.
Okay,
All right,
ready.
we're
The
ready.
first one is Finding John Christmas.
I think it's Hallmark.
I'm going to also say it's Hallmark.
You're both right. It is 2003. Valerie Bertinelli sees a photo of a mysterious stranger.
Valerie Bertinelli.
I know, it's a joke from Family Guy.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I like that.
She sees a photo of a mysterious stranger performing an act of bravery, thinks it's her long-lost brother, then tries to find him with the help of Peter Falk, a Christmas angel.
Are you also, when it's porn, going to put a plot
Yes.
summary?
No, well, so you had me at act of, and I was like, "Ooh, an act of what?"
Mm-hmm.
And then you said bravery.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh yeah, this is Christmas Hallmark.
There's a crazy amount of Hallmark movies.
Oh, yeah, they cranked that shit out.
The next one is All She Wants for Christmas.
Oh, man, I can go either way on that one.
I'll go.
You pick one, I'll go the other.
I feel like these are harder.
We'll take turns going back and forth. I will go porn.
You're going porn. I guess I'll go Hallmark.
It is porn.
Ooh.
The 2016 film, This XXXmas, the whole family is coming.
Oh, no.
All of these, by the way,
Did they spell coming with a U?
Yeah.
Just making sure they did that.
all of this porn is family related.
Oh,
I couldn't
why?
find anything that wasn't. I'm like, why incest is now the in thing? I don't know.
Ugh.
But I really enjoy the holidays with my family, and this
I
year's
don't know
no
if
different.
I don't know if I want to hear this shit.
It's not real incest. It's
It's
like
always
step siblings, and that's
Okay.
stupid shit.
All
I
right.
did know. I mean, I grew up with
That's-
a guy who banged his stepsister.
Yeah, I don't
Yep.
want to talk
all
about
the
it.
time. Anyway,
I talk about it all the time. I started spreading Christmas cheer while Daddy was supposedly out of town. Turns out he's just been watching to see how naughty I've been.
that doesn't even make sense.
Nope. Needless to say, my Christmas gets quite hot as the family starts to arrive, and Christmas Eve ends with the whole family spreading cheer together.
God damn it.
I
This
don't
is
like it.
terrible.
Nope. It's really bad. All right. Christmas under wraps.
That's a tough one.
You start this time.
Go porn.
I'm going to go with Hallmark.
It is Hallmark.
Oh man,
Caleb taking the lead 3-1. It is the 2014 Hallmark's highest rated movie with 5.8 million viewers.
You must have just known that. You're a Hallmark lover.
It stars
I guess the porn one, too.
it stars Candace Cameron Bure, I don't know how you pronounce
She
her last
got
name.
so hot.
As DJ Tanner. Yeah, and Christiany.
Yeah, minutes.
Next one, Snowman.
In a fundamentalist, gross kind of way.
Yeah.
Just to
Sorry,
be-
sorry, Christian listeners. Not to
We are talking about
across-
Christmas.
Across
A very popular holiday in the Christian tradition.
Keep the Christ in Christmas. The next one is Snowmance.
Snowman's.
I'm gonna go Hallmark. We can both choose the same thing if we want, but
I'm going to go Hallmark.
You're both right. I mean, it's not technically actually a Hallmark movie, but it was too good to not include. It's very much like it. Yeah. The story sounds like it's written by like rom-coms being fed into an AI. Sarah has always been a true romantic, hence her favorite Christmas tradition, building her annual snowman with her best friend Nick.
But they call it a snow bow. It's the boyfriend that I.
It sounds like the most depressing thing I've ever heard.
It sounds really sad.
After another breakup right before the holidays, Sarah begins to wonder if she'll ever find true love when a little Christmas magic brings her snowbow to life as the romantically perfect Cole.
So sad.
Sarah must decide whether to pursue her romance she's always dreamed of or true love that's been right in front of her all along.
What, the snowman?
No, her friend Nick.
Oh, God.
I wonder if the snowboat uses a carrot as his dick.
Also, yeah. Also, his name's Nick. Like, I see what you did there, Christmas movie. Hope Harper's White Christmas.
Harper's.
I feel like that sounds like a porn name. No, that just sounds like a porn name. I'm gonna go with porn.
I'm gonna also go with
because
porn.
Why would you put the name in?
You're both right, but there are Hallmark movies that have names in them. That's where ridiculous. I thought I was tripping it up. But
all right.
This one has, "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" poem.
Yes.
Well, they did that.
Oh no.
"'Twas the night before Christmas. Went all through the house. The whole fucking family was fucking my mouth." I haven't read all of this because it was getting so good. No. With mommy not around, and I don't really care, daddy was fucking me and pulling my hair.
No.
When out in the cold I heard such a clatter, I got off of dad's cock to see what was the matter, and what to my cum-covered eyes could appear but a rusty old sleigh and 8 fucking reindeer. That just sounds, conjunctivitis. Don't get cum in your eyes, everybody. With a crazy old man beating his dick, I knew who was watching. It must be St. Nick. He fumbled his cock and flew up high. He cried, "Onward, you bastards, or it's another black eye."
Wait, he's like punching his reindeer?
I guess.
He abuses
what
him?
A dickhead.
Jesus.
Then down the chimney his old fat ass fell. He set on the fire and let out a big yell. While my brother was stuffing my stocking with his massive cock, which is a bit of...
You're trying to rhyme at this point.
It was so good. It was doing good up until that point, too.
My family bared witness, then joined in the fun. We all kept fucking until up came the sun. I heard St. Nick say as he came on my face, "Merry Christmas to all. Now on to the next place." All right.
Wow.
2 more.
All right. 2 more. Here we go.
Christmas Spirit. This is a tough one.
Is it spelled Christmas Spear, S-P-A-R
it is
hyphen I-T?
It's spelled like you'd normally spell Christmas Spirit.
I'm going to go with Hallmark.
I feel like there's 2 more. The only way I can catch up is if I go against you. So I'm going to go against you and say it's porn.
It is porn.
Yes!
All right, not over yet, dude.
5-4.
When Scrooge, like stepmom Rena Sky, rejects Shyla Jennings' lesbian love for Ella Alexandria, a Christmas spirit hauntingly reminds the miserly mom of her own pussy-licking past. Ravenous tries extra hard to be both mommy and daddy to stepdaughter Jenna Reed, but when her workaholic husband won't come home for Christmas, will she revert to her lesbian tendencies and fuck her own stepdaughter like a Christmas wish come true?
Oh, God.
Yep.
A lot of coming true.
Yes, well, you know.
Yeah. Single Santa seeks Mrs. Claus.
You go first this time. Single Santa seeks Mrs. Claus.
Yeah. All spelled like you'd expect.
It sounds really wholesome, but so did Christmas Spirit. Mm-hmm. So it's tough from that angle. I want to say Hallmark, but at the same time, it could be porn. I mean, there's a 50% chance.
It's true.
Almost a coin, exactly. My dear boy. I'm gonna go Hallmark.
I'm also gonna go Hallmark.
You're both right.
I win.
Caleb.
By 1.
This
that
one
was a good rate. That
was fascinating. It was 2004. Crystal Bernard, who is Helen on Wings, is a Type A ad exec, single mother, looking for the perfect Santa for her ad campaign, which is definitely an executive's job. That's not a casting director or anything like that.
That's what she does.
She's doing this for days.
She's micromanaging it.
She's
son, Type A, they say.
Exactly. Her son writes a letter to Santa wishing for a new dad. Cut to the North Pole, where it's this time...
Why is he wishing for a new dad?
Because she's a single mom. His dad's dead.
Oh. Just because she's single doesn't mean the dad's dead.
Oh, sorry, his dad's dead. And that's why she's lost her Christmas spirit and hope and whimsy. Okay. Her son writes to Santa, the North Pole, it's time for Santa's son, Nick, to take on the job of Santa Claus. God. Nick, played by Steve Guttenberg. But there's a catch. He has to find a Mrs. Claus before Christmas Eve. So I think you can probably watch the rest of the movie in your head, know how that goes.
Steve Guttenberg and Helen Hunt. What a dynamic duo.
No, Crystal Bernard. Helen from Wings.
Oh.
I was picturing Helen Hunt this whole time.
That works too.
And I was going to say, that is great casting for that role.
That is pretty good casting, actually.
But it's not who it was.
I tried to look for one that was both porn and Hallmark. The closest I could come was a Hallmark movie called Time for Me to Come Home for Christmas and Come Home for Christmas.
The porn being Come Home for Christmas.
A lot of the porn were not very clever, like Spend Christmas in My Ass, Ho Ho Ho's 3, Merry Fucking Christmas.
That was the fun,
That's it.
That was a fun game.
Welcome to our show of Hallmark or porn.
I love it. I can't wait for our St. Patrick's Day.
That was awesome.
Yeah, that's great. I love it.
Well, I guess we could probably wrap it up. Is there? Ryan, I don't know. Did you have some kind of announcement?
Oh,
you said you had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say my New Year's resolution, which was like, I feel like I just haven't been doing my best for myself. And so I think I'm really going to refocus. I'm going to take some classes. I'm going to maybe start meditating. And so I just really need
good things to do.
Yeah. So I'm going to stop doing the podcast. And
Now, just weeks ago, you were talking about how much you loved it, and how it's really like the shining bright beacon of hope in your life.
I didn't know this was going to be a confession, but I've gotten sober.
Congratulations. I'm surprised I'm just now hearing about this as well.
I mean, it's crazy. I know. So, yeah, I'm going to take some me time. I'm going to work on myself.
How much me time?
I don't know, 12 months. We can reconvene after the new holidays.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Right. So, okay. We can... Oh, no! Wait a minute.
Whoa, the ghost.
Hi, guys! A greenish sort of hue of smoke just appeared in the room with the smell of cannabis, I believe, and peppermint.
Holidays!
Hi, long time no see.
Hi, are you guys having a good Christmas and Happy Boo Year?
That's on brand. It's been great.
Yeah.
I brought you something for the holidays. Brought you a plate of cookies.
Oh,
thank you.
Are these special cookies?
Are they the kind that make you laugh?
Eat some cookies.
Okay, I'll have some.
That's good.
Crunch.
I'm traveling around bringing good cheer and doing good deeds, so I can get out of limbo and finally cross over the gangster's paradise. Yeah, gangster's paradise. Tupac and Biggie are there. You can paddle around a blunt canoe on the THC.
That sounds amazing.
I'm talking high. By the way, how you guys feeling?
I'm feeling a little weird.
I got a tingle.
Those cookies have enough weed to make the Dalai Lama slap his mama.
Oh my God.
You guys feeling weird?
Feeling pretty kooky.
Yeah.
Ryan, I hear that you're trying to do something constructive.
Yeah, I was gonna, work on myself, try to get to better at things.
I want to show you. I gotta do a good deed. I want to show you what life would be like if you weren't involved with the podcast.
Oh my goodness, this is a real gym. No.
Hang on, I know the weed. The cookies. Hang on, here, buy the ticket, take the ride.
Next up, of course, is our fan favorite, and honestly, I'm just going to say personal favorite segment of the show that we do every week, and that is, of course, Good Morning Seibertron.
Yeah, with Mike Seibert. Yeah,
all right,
I love it.
Hot cocoa, my favorite. Ooh, burned my tongue. I'll add a few more of these little mini marshmallows here, but not too many. I don't like how I feel when I have too much sugar. I used to drink coffee, but it's just too darn strong. Anyway, hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Good Morning Seibertron. Kind of like, hey. So come on in. Put your clothes on. Put more clothes on. It's cold out there. You want to bundle up, layers. Get your snow pants and get your scarves out. Get your gloves out. None of those naughty bits though. Keep all that stuff put away because gosh, golly. Yeah, it's you might even say it's cold outside, but we don't talk about that much around here. No innuendo here. Everything's always consensual, just clean, wholesome family fun. And
I love how wholesome this show is.
I know, it's my favorite.
Isn't it wonderful? I just like to listen, I just like to enjoy people talking about their problems and their stories. And
hey, Mike, I just want to say,
yes.
I know I say this every week, but I really love how positive, uplifting, and most of all, safe your show is.
Absolutely. This is the safest of the safe spaces. It's a scary world out there. There was that time that I almost went to Chicago for that Transformers convention, but that was just a little too scary because it's a rough world out there, and I just had to stay home and bundle in, and maybe I missed out on some of those experiences, but probably not because I just gotta stay safe, bundled up by the fire, and with all the little ones around, and just having all this great family friendly fun. We were watching Ellen earlier, and
she's wonderful.
I just love her dancing so much. It just fills me with delight. I just enjoy being with you guys so much. It's we
enjoy being with you too. We really.
Your friendship is like a warm hug.
Well, we're sending hugs to you, Mike, and we were looking forward to the segment next week. And anyway, thanks for everything that you do and contribute to this show. And
I can't imagine a world without you being a part of this show, and I can't imagine that there's any other just person in the entire world that could take your place and that really could make this show any better than it is. And you're the best, man. All O's coming at you. No X's though, because that's a little too naughty.
That's a little too risque. I mean, but thank you guys so very much. It warms me. It makes me so warm, just like this delicious hot cocoa.
Yeah.
Oh, still a little hot. I maybe need to add some more marshmallows. But thank you so much as always for checking out Good Morning Seibertron. And as I sign off, I want to remind you, help control the pet population. Have your Sharkticon spayed or neutered.
That's right.
Yeah.
And of course, make good choices, because some things are just universal no matter what timeline you're in.
That's true.
All right.
God, so
that was
uplifting.
Mike. So, Aaron, back to you. I mean, what do you think? Transformers.
Oh my God! Whoa! I didn't like that at all.
Wow. Well, that didn't go as planned.
That seems not.
They seemed pretty happy.
Yeah. It really didn't seem like it. Like in the movie, people are. Which also in that movie, It's a Wonderful Life, is there an alternate universe where all these people are in like a shit show? Like, that's terrible. But that's what this seems like, is the opposite, is that everybody's happier.
Yeah, that looked like a lot better program.
Yeah, it really did.
And a lot more fun to record.
Yeah. Does anybody want any more cookies?
I'll not have any.
So did you learn anything?
I mean, I guess nothing that I do matters, and so I'm gonna stay here and make everything terrible for everybody else.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Oh, good.
So you are gonna stick around to the podcast?
Yeah, I think I'll why try? Why hope for anything, really?
Okay, cool. Oh! You hear that?
I do.
What is that?
Well, every time ODB screams, a gangster smokes some weed. I did it, guys. Gangster's paradise, here I come.
He got his wings.
I'm gonna send him to the cloud of Kush. Puff, puff, poof.
Puff, puff, poo, everyone.
Huh. Well, I get he's gone.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we'll never see him again, or maybe we will. I don't know if he
I don't know if
realizes
you
that was Busta Rhymes, not ODB. But I don't know if that really matters to the getting in through the gates of heaven.
Yeah, that was weird.
Holy cow.
Well, what an adventure.
What a wonderful Christmas.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, guys, I think we have to close it out on that. This has been a 2-hour podcast.
Indeed.
And with that, Ryan, what's coming up? We've closed out the script deviations.
There's one more.
There's one more, and that's happening after this?
After this one drops.
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
This
all
one
right.
drops on, I think, the 7th, and then the next one will be the last script deviation, and then, who knows what our next episode will be.
Well, in the spirit of milking our content, old content to the very last drop, we recently received the video from the TFCon program, so I'm going to spend some time editing that. We'll work together on that. And even though it's a bit repetitive, there's so much visual stuff that happened with that. I'm really looking forward to getting that out. And plus, Ryan really worked hard on a lot of drawings. We worked hard on writing it and illustrating it. So it'll be the best possible version of that.
Absolutely.
So that's on the horizon. So please continue to listen and subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Google Play, and TuneIn. If you're an iTunes user, subscribe, leave a review, all that good stuff. Follow us on our social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, all of them at APOD Visit our web presence at AutopoDecepticast.com. Peep the shop, check the merch, buy something.
Yeah, and if you want to hear our talk about, we all went to see the Bumblebee movie recently, and we talked to Mike Seibert about it over on his show, the Mike Seibert Radio. So if you missed that, check that out. I think it's dropping probably before this episode.
So it's already in existence.
Go listen to it now.
If you want to continue to hear our voices after 2 hours, you can go over and
good
get
Lord, is
hour
anyone
out of it.
still tuned in?
That's right. Thanks, everybody. Happy holidays. Happy New Year.
Bye.
Bye.
Cybertron!
Blow cells, where we sell good.